Centuries ago, there was a scholar who had a dream of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the Prophet was telling him in that dream, tell your neighbor that he's going to be my neighbor in paradise. So that scholar was so curious to know what good thing his neighbor did to deserve that promise from the Prophet. So the scholar went up to his neighbor and told him, listen, I have a message for you from the Prophet. He came to me in my dream, and I have a message for you, but I'm not going to tell you what that message is until you tell me what is a really good thing that you did in your life. I really wanted to know the Prophet's message, so I ended up telling him. 5 months into my marriage, I found out that my wife was pregnant in her 9th month. I asked her, and she started crying and saying, I made a mistake before we got married, and this baby is not yours. She said, and the baby's dad wanted nothing to do with him, so I didn't know what to do. So I knew this baby was a result of fornication. Once she had the baby, I took him to the mosque really early at night when no one was there and placed him somewhere further away from me, but I could still keep an eye on him. And then people started coming and morning prayer went off and the baby started crying. Everyone gathered around the baby. I made sure that everyone can see and everyone was saying, look, there's an abandoned baby. I went into the crowd. I grabbed the baby and said, I'll take him. My wife had always wanted to adopt a child. I did this to protect her, and now I'm raising this child like he's my son. So the scholar said, indeed, this is why the Prophet was telling me you're going to be his neighbor in the highest levels of paradise. I'll leave you to ponder upon that story for a little bit. Last month, there was a post on Instagram that went viral that had the words protect your daughter crossed and the words educate your son highlighted. Great. But are people really aware of what they should be educating their sons? Are you teaching them things like you have to be chaste because God said so and it's a major sin in all religions? Well, why did God say so? He gave us pleasures and wants to see us suffer by depriving us from them? What kind of God is this? Or are you teaching them things like because the society and the culture and the family's reputation? Well, the next generation is going to tell you, Aslan, the society encourages this. Now, you don't know. Or they're going to tell you, the hell with the reputation, the hell with the culture, and the hell with the society. I don't live for people, I live for myself. And why did God say so? Teach them logical reasons why. Teach your son that if he's not chaste, he's most probably causing injustice to another woman. Teach him that he may be causing her a risk of pregnancy with great costs of maybe raising a child as a single mother or mental distress on a child who may feel unwanted and lack of comfort and security found in a loving family, and show him examples. Teach him that as per all evolutionary, psychological, and physiological studies on humans, he is causing her to feel unexpectedly attached, and if he leaves her, she may emotionally and psychologically suffer. Teach him that his lack of commitment and respect for something very intimate may cause her to feel used and damaged and unrespected as a woman. Teach him that if he causes this type of injustice to another woman, another man will cause injustice to the woman in his life. Teach him that he may destroy her reputation in a very judgmental society who may cause her even more harm. Teach him that if another man had caused his daughter or sister this kind of injustice, if he thinks that by disowning her or hitting her or murdering her, he's better than that man, he's wrong. He's actually causing her a bigger form of injustice. And teach her that her lack of chastity is injustice to herself. Teach them everything with rationale and logic. Teach them that God only makes something a major sin to protect us from any harm because he loves us. Teach your son that story in the beginning of the video, and teach him that in no religion or any moral ethics does it ever say that a woman's virginity weighs more than a man's virginity. Teach him that he is responsible not to cause injustice to another woman, even if she chooses to immorally cause injustice to herself. Teach them the reasons why, because that is the only way they'll stay safe and protect themselves from any harm.